Marcel and I met when he was a district manager here in the Vermont market area. The first time I met him, I shook his hand and he introduced himself to me, asked me what I wanted to do with the company. I told him I was going to take his job. Ultimately, I'm almost there, store director. I think I told him at one point that I was afraid to step on his toes, and he told me to step away. So after that, I completely stepped on his toes. So I continued to step on his toes, and thank you to him, I am where I am today.
A long time in the business, added a lot to the grocery business. My wife enjoyed shopping there. Now, I'm in the grocery business, and he always wanted to announce it over the intercom that Dick Maz's wife was shopping at Shaw's.
One of the things I've always liked about Marcel is his wise counsel. Probably this merger wouldn't have occurred had it not been for Marcel. He's been a great asset, not only to the VRGA board, but now to the VRGA board, and certainly well-deserving of the award.
He is a doer. I think back, I look at his resume for Shaw's, and he's been a bagger, and he's been an assistant manager, and he's been a manager, and he's been a district manager, he's been human relations manager. I think he's had every job there except being president, and maybe that opportunity will, come someday too. Shaw's has had a few presidents over the last few years, so you never know.
A very thoughtful, steady guy, and you have to be that if you're a hockey referee. Having dealt with high school players, I'm sure he's very good at keeping Jim Harrison in his place.
Always got a smile on his face, which is great. In the grocery business, that's what it takes, and he had the secret formula to that.
When we have a golf outing, I think I get there pretty early to help get set up and stuff. First time Marcel came, he was there before me, son of a gun. No one gets there before 6 o'clock to set up. Marcel was there. And sure enough, the managers that were playing with him were also there. They were there to work, to put the sign up. I felt bad for the guy up in Derby. This is going down to Killington. He's got a trek of 2-3 hours to get there, and 6 o'clock you got to be there. If you want to play golf, you got to be there. So that's just the way he is. His company is there, and they got to participate, and they got to support the events.
Marcel has just been a great friend of the grocers, and I've known him real well over the years, and just a great guy.
No one works easy in the food business. You work a lot of hours, 7 days a week. Yeah, he has time. Referee hockey in the evenings. I'm tired when I go home. It's like, why? He's been programmed with a lot of energy.
Marcel reads people well. He coaches people well. He respects people. And if you do something wrong, he tells you. And he doesn't hold a grudge, so he leaves it at the door. He wants to teach you. He wants you to learn, and he wants you to be able to do the best that you can do.
It started with a greenhouse. I always loved doing gardening. I did it with my grandfather when I was very young. So we had an opportunity to buy a greenhouse, took down the greenhouse in April with snow on the ground, moved it over to Pittsford, put it back up, and let me have a greenhouse for the last 2 years of high school, and then I had the 4 years I was in college.
My dad built a greenhouse for Bonnie when she was a teenager because she always wanted to grow flowers. Dad built a greenhouse. Bonnie grew flowers when she was in high school, went off to college. After she left for school and the greenhouse was sitting there, my dad said, hey, we could build a pool out of this greenhouse. My little brother and I had to hand shovel and dig out everything underneath, and we made a pool out of her greenhouse. And if it wasn't for Bonnie, we would never have had a swimming pool.
When we came back after 4 years in California, I actually worked in Maine for 3 years. Then we moved to New Jersey for 6 months, and then we moved back up here to Vermont where we grew up and opened a flower shop.
It became her passion. Most of us have ended up with a passion somehow, and Bonnie's was growing stuff in flowers. And she followed that passion through her whole life. Here she is today with Hawley's Florist and spent her life doing that, but also a passion for other things like the Paramount Theater in downtown. She's passionate about Rutland and Vermont. She went away and came back to Vermont and stayed here and followed her passion.
I got involved in the community here. I was part of the Paramount when we were trying to get it up and running. That was 15 years on that board until it was up and running. This is our entire sales floor. And we have 2 display coolers, and they both have walk-ins behind them. So we carry a lot of flowers. It's a big space, which we've really enjoyed because I'm one of these people that wants people to have enough to choose from and enough to really look at and get ideas. This was always in this building, and so we left it here, and the mailman's really good. He comes in and puts mail into, I think there's 2 offices upstairs.
She really loved what she did. She could go talk about it and be passionate about it and talk to others and get people excited, and I think that's what drives her on all these things.